Good afternoon. Today I'll be talking about a very famous book, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This book was basically written in the year 1860s, and the setting of this book is that of the American Civil War. So this book basically revolves around the four March sisters who, along with their mother, try to grow up in a world and fit in the world where their father is away fighting in the American Civil War. The story wonderfully shows how these four sisters step into womanhood and how these sisters fit into and adhere to the societal norms and ideals in the midst of poverty. Through the character of Jo, who was one of the March sisters, the book shows that how a woman can be successful and competent and at the same time be feminine as well. The author also tries to show that how the women can be as successful as men and they can be successful without finding love as well. So I would recommend everyone to read this book at least once because it shows that how a person, how a family can have an optimistic view towards life in the midst of sheer poverty.
Alright, so the book that I'm going to talk about is the Communist Manifesto. It has been written by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. There was no specific reason as to why I chose this book as my favorite. It became a de facto favorite as I kept reading it. The book talks about the class struggle that existed in the Western Europe at the time of Karl Marx, about the Industrial Revolution and about the scientific socialism that was adapted from the French Revolution itself. This book talks about the class struggle between the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. The bourgeoisie was the upper class, the industrialist who used to own large industries and captivated a lot of wealth, culminated a lot of wealth within themselves, whereas the proletariat was in fact the labor class, which is being suppressed and dominated by these bourgeoisie. So the book basically talks about how there needs to be a revolution through which the proletariat can achieve their aims, seize the means of production in order to gather their in order to gain their support and dominate the factors that lead to the production, in order to decrease the class divide that exists in the society, to dismantle the divide between the rich and the poor. And this book, the Communist Manifesto, has not been impractical. It has been practical because we have seen a lot of communist revolutions across in Latin America. There has been a full states based on the ideology of communism. The state of USSR, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. China follows a different kind of Marxism, which is called Maoism, which was based on the principles of Mao Zedong. It has been followed in Cuba during the time of Cold War. So these ideologies are very practical, and even in today's time, as we know how the capitalists suppress the world by culminating the entire of world's wealth. Narita shows that 1% of the industrialists own the entire 90% of the wealth of the world. So to counter this and to go against this, I think the principle and doctrine of Marxism is very essential and should be adhered and followed.
So, hi everyone, I'm Ayush Moran, student of BBA, and the book today I want to review about is called Paper Towns. So, Paper Towns literally means place that doesn't exist in real life. It's just on the maps, but doesn't exist in real life. And this book is written by John Green, a very famous author for writing the fictional stories. The main message the book follows is that you should follow your dreams. You should never look back and regret your decisions. The basic code of this is that you get lost in papers. Once you are in the town, you will never return. It just means that the whole world is made of papers. It's an origami paper that has colorful traditions, but it comes from the difference. And basically in this novel, there is a character named Margot Rose Spiegelton who just gets lost one day in the woods and no one returns. Her friend, the one who loves her, he finds her, he tries to find her, he thinks that she leaves the clue just to find her. So that's the whole story about.
Hello everyone, I'm Vedanshi Uli from School of Mass Communication, and out of all the books I've ever read, most of those have been in Hindi, And out of those, my favorite is from a name which is not so famous in the writers industry but a big name from a film industry, that is Ashutosh Rana. The book title says Maun Muskan Ki Maar. I count this book in my favorites because this book has issues which needs to be addressed and have a major impact on the society but are never verbally addressed. Also, all the issues are related to the real life anecdotes of the author Ashutosh Rana, and he touches them with a slight sarcasm. So yes, we can say that his Maun Muskan has really a great impact on us.
I personally am a big fan of fiction, and fantasy as a genre is one of my leading favorites. As such, out of my top 5 reads, Lore by Alexandra Breckman is one of my favorite viewpoints into the Greek mythology. When the gods decide to play a game for over centuries with immortality as the prize, it sounds fun, only until it doesn't. The reason why this book still lingers in my mind even after months is because of the never-ending frustration and curiosity it built for me. The reason why this book is a motivation for me to finish was because of how each character was so unique that they were all deprived of their expected to be godly morals and acted like selfish humans for their own personal interest, somehow making me relate to them in our people in our own society. The setting and the narration of this book is simply beautiful, and the use of language is also quite easy to keep up with. In the end, the ending was a little too heart-clenching for me as it was a beginning for the serial. But I love this book nonetheless. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Swati Saurabh and I'm from BA LLB first year. So my favorite book is Who Will Cry When You Die. So after listening this, everyone will think that it's a book which is based upon how many people are going to come to your funeral and how many of them are going to cry. But it is not that. Basically the book is about what you leave behind when you die. Like for example, we know कि जब हम जन्म लेते हैं तो सारे लोग खुशी मना रहे होते हैं और हम रो रहे होते हैं, बट जब हम मरते हैं तो हम खुशी मना रहे होते हैं और बाकी लोग रो रहे होते हैं. So there are more than 100 lessons, 100 short lessons in this book, but the most fascinating part of this book, which compelled me to make it my favorite, was firstly, it tells you about practice tough love. So the tougher you are with yourself, the more easier your life will get. And second off, it will tell you how to just recreate your life story. It's not that earlier people have not done this. जैसा हम चाहते हैं कि हमारी लाइफ ऐसे चले, but वैसा नहीं होता है हमारे साथ. So the book will tell you that how to recreate your life story, and the question is, are you ready to recreate your life story so that whatever the unpredictable situation occur, you will be the happier person, and you can live in those unpredictable situations happily and peacefully. So I would suggest that you should at least once you should read the book Who Will Cry When You Die.
Hi everyone, my name is Aviral Bajpayee. I'm from BBA first year. I'm going to talk about the book Call Me By Your Name. It's written by Andre Asman. He talks about in the book about the late 1980s in Italy, about a family of Tessa and his son, Elio Perlman. He's a 17-year-old talented, creative boy who is dealing with his sexuality, his desires, and questioning everything in his life. And he gets to know a new college student that comes to his dad for internship at their Italy house, and how the movie concentrates about them figuring each other out, themselves out, and how to figure out all the judgments from the society about if they get together, and the whole summer of them being together and denying their feelings. And in the end of the book, they are faced with the reality of they actually have to look at the reality, and they go back living their own lives. Elio stays in Italy and with his family, and Oliver goes back to America to continue his education. And it's talk about I like the book because it talk about something that we can all relate to, our first love and our first heartbreak, and how one in their teenage questions everything about themselves, about the world and everything around them. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Anandana Thapa. I'm from BA Honors, second semester, and rather than talking about a book, I'll be talking about an author, Murakami. I think everyone must have heard of him. So I've read Norwegian Wood and Sputnik Sweetheart, and currently I'm reading his Kafka on the Shore. And I know it's still not enough to judge a writer, but I don't like his writings at all. The way, okay, his books are set in early 19th century, 20th century, and the way his books describe his characters, specifically women, I don't like that. It's too explicit, and most of his characters are leading main characters, protagonists are male characters, and the way they live their life in the book, it's just a no for me. I don't like the way he describes the settings as well as other supporting characters. Yeah, a lot. It is extremely misogynistic. Yeah, I would not recommend any of his books to anyone. But apparently, Kafka on the Shore is supposed to be his best works. So let's see what I can get from that book. Thank you.